folks, Crazyclimber80 here again, and this time we're going to do a game show review, and this one is of the game show called Hitman, released in 1983, and it was created by Jay Wolpert, who created the earlier awesome game show Shoo from 1979 to 1980. It aired on NBC from January 3 to April Fools of 1983. It aired around 10:30 in the morning or so. The creator and executive producer was Jay Wolpert. Producers were Roger Speakman and Randy Neese. The director was John the Fox Dorsey. Host was Peter Tomarken, and announcer was Rod Roddy, and they would both team up later in the year for Press Your Luck. The production companies were Metro Media Video and Jay Wolpert Productions. It was taped at NBC Studios in Burbank, California. On the schedule, it followed Wheel of Fortune and was followed by the Betty White hosted show Just Men. It replaced the soap opera Texas and was replaced by the game show Dream House, and the theme was by Paul Epstein and Score Productions.
1/2 hour from now, you'll know enough about the career of Marlon Brando and America's presidents to win $10,000 in cash if you were a contestant on Hitman. And now, here's the host of Hitman, Peter Tomarken.
Thank you, Rod Roddy, and welcome everyone to Hitman. Again, we got another half hour of fun in store for you, and like always, we're going to become experts on 2 more subjects, because we're going to give you all the answers before we even get to the question. But before we do that, let's meet the folks who are going to actually play our game, and here they are, starting with Diana. Hi, Diana.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm Diana Thompson. I'm married and have 2 children. I'm a department manager at a department store, and I love to snow ski.
Oh, you love to snow ski. Do you ski real well?
I'm really bad.
So am I. We'll have to ski together.
Okay.
All right, nice having you with us.
There were 3 contestants competing. They are shown a 3-something minute video about a particular subject narrated by host Peter Tomarken. They are asked buzzing questions based on the video that they saw. A miss or a failure to give an answer in time locked them out for the next question. The first player to correctly get 5 questions right advanced to round 2. The other players then continue. The second place winner will advance to round 2, and the third place player is eliminated. The previous episode's champ is not playing yet, but they get to watch the video off stage. And they will join in for round 2.
Now let's meet our champion, Woodrun Alexander. How are you, Woodrun?
Fine.
Now, are you planning to go back east first class now?
Yes.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll. We're not going to stop it. We're going to go right ahead with it, okay?
Okay.
In just a minute, we're going to be showing our contestants and you out there our first story. Now, Woodrun, as usual, will be watching from off stage, so we'll see you at the end of round 1, and we'll be seeing all of you right after this. All the questions we ask are going to be based on that story, the story of Brando. Give him a hando.
When we think of Hollywood stars, we picture limousines and jewelry and life in the fast lane. Marlon Brando has always taken a different road. When he was 19, he decided to become an actor and moved to New York. He got a job as an elevator operator in a department store, but he quit because he was embarrassed to say the word lingerie. His first movie was The Men. To prepare for his role as a paraplegic, he spent weeks in a wheelchair going places with disabled veterans. One night, in a diner, they were approached by a faith healer. She told them that faith alone could make them walk. Brando stood up, and the woman fell to the floor. Despite his excellent performance in The Men, he was not given a nomination for the Oscar. Perhaps that was because he wouldn't play the Hollywood game. When a reporter asked him if he preferred a bath or a shower, he said, "Neither. I spit at the sky and run under it." That was easy for audiences to believe after they saw him play Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire. Hollywood columnist Luella Parsons called him the Slav. Then again, he called her the Fat One. Soon he won his first Oscar for On the Waterfront. He played Terry Malloy, an ex-prize fighter, and became famous for mumbling the line, "I could have been a contender." Brando did a lot of private mumbling after he starred in the remake of Mutiny on the Bounty. It cost $20 million and was such a flop, Brando became known as box office poison. He cemented this image by starring in failure after failure for the next 10 years. Then The Godfather came along. Brando designed his own makeup for the screen test. He plastered his hair back and stuffed Kleenex in his gums. When the director, Francis Coppola, showed the test to the studio, the executives didn't recognize Brando. Sure, this guy looks Italian, they said, but can he act? Brando answered that question by winning his second Oscar for this role. He didn't attend the award ceremony, but sent an Apache maiden in his place, and he ordered her to refuse his Oscar. In his next film, Last Tango in Paris, his co-star was Maria Schneider. Brando had trouble remembering some of his lines, and wanted them written on Maria's rear end. Well, that would give him an excuse for staring. The producers of the movie Superman wanted him to play the part of Superman's father, Jor-El. Brando held out until they made him an offer he couldn't refuse. He worked 12 days and was paid over $18 million. Who says you can't find good jobs anymore? Today, Marlon Brando is considered by many to be America's greatest film actor. In many of his roles, Brando was more than a contender. He was a champion.
Okay, well, that's our first story. So our game is played in two very different rounds. In round one, our three challengers will be fighting it out in order to determine which two of them are going to go on to do battle with our reigning champion later on in round. What film did Brando win his first Oscar, Diana?
On the waterfront.
On the Waterfront's right, and Diana pushes out of the gate. Carol.
Schneider.
Schneider is right. Carol moves out. What type of role did Brando play in The Men? Diana.
Gay.
Pardon? Was it gay? I think perhaps he was happy. I don't think he was gay. How about a paraplegic or a disabled veteran? Okay, moving right along. Diana, we're going to turn your light out for that. Okay? Well, we're going to go over to Marlon and Carol, and here's the question. Rod and Karen can stop you. Here's the question. What caused Buddy Ebsen's breathing problem? Bobby.
Aluminum dust on the face.
You got it, and you're the first winner. Okay, we know we're going to be seeing you in round two. And let's find out which of the two, Rod and Karen, are going to join you. So you sit back and relax while Rod and Karen fight it out. All right, Rod, Karen, here is your question. What song did MGM executives want to cut? Rod.
Over the Rainbow.
Over the Rainbow is right. All right. Rod, it puts you one step away from being our second winner. And Karen, you know there can only be two winners. So you got to make your move now if you're going to make
Okay.
it. Here's the question. When the Wicked Witch disappeared in a puff of smoke, what land was she in? Karen.
Oz.
No, Munchkin Land. Munchkin Land. That means you got to sit it out. Karen sits it out. We go to Rod. Now, Rod, we're not going to penalize you if you don't know the answer. Okay. So if you do, buzz in. If you don't, just don't press your buzzer. Okay. This question's all for you, Rod, and obviously if you get it right, you are our second winner. Here it is. What happened in 1960 which caused the Wizard of Oz to start making money? Rod.
Went on TV.
Yes, it went on TV, and you're our second winner. Because that means that you and Bobby will be battling the champion in round two. Unfortunately, it means we have to say goodbye to Karen. Karen, you played a great game. We've got some lovely prizes for you, and I thank you for being on Hit.
Thank you.
All right. In a moment, we'll be right back to see how our two challengers do battle against the champion in round two, right after this.
Now on to round two. The previous episode's champ joins in. All the players get to watch another 3-some-minute video on another subject. Then all the players' faces are superimposed on a black screen. The champion will get 7 hitmen, and their hitmen are little spiky characters. Then the number 1 challenger will get 4 of their own hitmen, and the number 2 challenger will get 3. And those of the challengers, those hitmen, look like little knights. Then challenger number 1 gets to decide whether they or challenger number 2 will start against the champ. Then buzzing questions are given to the champ and the challenger in control based on the video that they watched. A miss or a failure to give an answer in time eliminates one of their hitmen and gives control to the other challenger. A challenger that knocks out the champ's last hitman is the new champ. If the champ eliminates all the other hitmen from both challengers, they remain champ.
All right, that's the end of our story, and of course, this is the board upon which we always play round 2. And Marlon, because you came in first in round 1, you get 4 hitmen, and here they are. And Diana, you came in second, so you get 3 hitmen, and here they are. Now that's a combined total of 7, so Casey, to keep things nice and even, we always give the champ 7 hitmen, and here they are. All right, in this round, the champion, Casey, is going to fight each challenger one at a time. Players, a right answer knocks out an opponent's man, a wrong answer knocks out one of your own men. But when a challenger loses a man, he or she must stop playing while the champion then takes on the other challenger. The champion is trying to wipe out all the challenger's men. Each challenger is trying to wipe out the champion's last man. And of course, the winner of the game will get a chance to go on for a triple crown worth $10,000 in cash. Now, Marlon, you came in first in round 1, so you get to decide who goes up against the champ, you or Diana.
Well, ladies first.
Very, very noble. Okay, Diana, it's up to you to go against Casey, and here's your first question. Which president was famous for his pool parties? Casey.
President Kennedy.
Kennedy is right. Diana's hit, loses the man. And we go over to Marlon, who didn't have to wait too long. Here's your question. What is a basic requirement for being... Casey.
Over 35, born in the United
For
States.
being president other than age, must be born in the U.S. We have to take your first answer. I'm sorry, wrong. That means the champ's hit and loses the man. We stick with Marlon. Which president made up a story about being born? Casey.
President Johnson.
The log cabin, Johnson's right. Marlon's hit and loses the man. We go back over to Diana. Okay. What was the president's house called before it was called the White House? Casey.
Executive Mansion.
Executive Mansion's correct. Diana's hit and loses the man. We go back over to Marlon with his 3 hitmen against 6 of Casey's. Which president liked to press all the buttons on? Marlon.
Coolidge.
Coolidge is right. It took a while, but you got it. It's all counts. That means that Casey's hit and loses the man. We stick with Casey and Marlon. Who was the president who danced with Queen Elizabeth? Casey?
President Ford.
Ford is right. Marlon's hit and loses the man. Diana, we have yet to hear from you. You have one lonely hitman left. If Casey answers the question correctly, you are out of the game. You might receive a phone call from Marlon Brando. All right. Here's your question. Which president was known for speaking plainly? Casey.
Truman.
Truman is right, and Diana is out of the game. That leaves it up to Marlon with his 2 hitmen against Casey's 5. Here's the question. In addition to his salary, how much does the president receive? Kate Marlon?
$90,000.
For expenses, $90,000 is right. Casey's hit and loses the man down to 4. Marlon's 2. Which president once worked at the Slippery Gulch Rodeo? Casey?
Nixon.
Nixon is right, and Marlon's hit. He's down to his last hitman. Needless to say, but I'll say it anyways, as I always do. Marlon, if Casey answers this question correctly, she stays as the champion. And here it is. How long did the longest inaugural... Marlon.
1 hour.
1 hour is right for the longest inaugural speech. Casey's hit loses the man down to 3. Same situation. Marlon's hanging on by a thread. Who named the president's house the White House? Casey? Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. That means Casey's hit and loses the man is down to 2. Marlon's still hanging in there. Here's the question. What would Coolidge say after everyone rushed into his office, Marlon?
Just want to see if you're working.
Indeed, he did say that. And Casey's down. The 1 hit man. Okay, this game can change rapidly. And here's the situation. Casey, if you answer the question correctly, you're the champ and you stay as the champ. Marlon, you answer the question correctly, you are the new champ. Here's the question that could decide. And here it is. Which president's daughter was Pan Casey?
Truman.
Truman's daughter is right! And Casey stays as the champ. Congratulations, Casey. What a battle. Right down to the wire. Well played. Diana, played very well. You got yourself $200 for round 1 and a little bit of notoriety on the way. Thank you, Diana. And Marlon, you couldn't have come any closer. Right down to the last question. You played well. Good luck with your career.
Thank you.
And Casey, as the champ, you know where you're going. You're going to have another opportunity for our Triple Crown with $10,000 in cash. We'll see if Casey can do it right after this.
Well, here is the bonus round, and it is called the Triple Crown. Now here, the champ must eliminate 3 columns worth of questions, and there's little black circles in each column. and those black circles are from anywhere from 1 to 5. And when a question is answered correctly, and the questions are based on both videos that they saw during the show, then each little black square or circle will fill up with a money man, they call it. And once a column is completed, there will be a crown appearing above it, and they have to move on to another column. And if they screw up, if they miss, or they take too long to answer, then they cannot complete that column. They have to move to another one. But they only have to fill up 3 of them in order to win 10,000. If they can only fill up one within 60 seconds, then they win 1,000. If they can fill up only 2, then they win 2,000. Now they are turned away so they cannot see the board. They don't know whether they filled up a column or not, or how many questions they must answer. Peter will tell them, the host will tell them when they've completed one.
All right, it's time for our Triple Crown. And Casey, no more playing around. Just get the 10,000. Okay? The game is going to last 60 seconds. On that board over there, you see 8 columns, and each column is a number of circles. For example, in column 4, there are 3 circles. Now, you call out a column, and I'll read you a question based on either of the 2 stories you've heard today. If you're right, you'll change the first circle in that column into a money man, and I'll read you another question. And I'll keep on reading you questions until you've changed every circle in that column into a money man, or you make a mistake. Now, if you make a mistake or you pass on a question, you've got to call out another column. You fill up 1 column with money man, you win $1,000. You fill up 2 columns with money man, you win $2,000. And finally, you fill up 3 columns with money men, and you win $10,000 in cash. But, Casey, you're not going to see how many circles in each column because we're going to keep your back to the board as it is now for the entire game. And let's reset the board's pattern. Set the board. The game and the clock will begin when you call out your first column. And Casey, the best of luck.
Column 3.
3. What is the favorite presidential pet?
Dog.
Right. Who did Brando send to refuse his Oscar?
An Apache maiden.
Right. What did Luella Parsons call Brando?
The Squad.
Right. There's your first column. Another.
Column 4.
4. Who delivered the shortest inaugural address?
Washington.
Right. Why did Brando quit his elevator job?
He was embarrassed to say lingerie.
Right. There's your second column. Another.
Column 5.
5. Brando decided to become an actor when he was how old?
19.
Right. Who directed The Godfather?
Pass. Column 6.
6. What was Brando's first movie?
The Men.
Right. How many presidents have been born in log cabins?
7.
Right. What is the minimum age required to be president?
35.
Right. What is the base salary of the president?
200,000.
200,000 is right, and that's $10,000 in cash! What a job! You did it! You had 20 to drive. You had 19 seconds left. Look what you did. Let's stop the board for a minute. Caught your tip column 3, went right up to column 4. You missed column 5, you went to 6. You just did it where and bam. 19 seconds left, 3 columns, $10,000. How do you feel?
I feel great.
All right, we'll be right back. Casey, that's $10,000 that Triple Crown added to your previous total is a grand total of $12,300. All right, you're in the money. We're on time. We'll see you next time on Hitman. Bye-bye.
Hitman is a Jay Wolpert production in association with Macromedia Video Productions. This is R.I.P speaking.
Some notes on Hitman. There were 65 episodes. The scoring in the first round, at least, the first place challenger won $300. The second place challenger won $200. And the third place challenger, of course, was eliminated and won parting gifts. There were no straddling episodes, which I like. I mean, I like that concept where episodes do not straddle. The videos were obviously narrated humorously, and Peter Tomarken was a fantastic host for the show. He was just perfect. He was a little goofy, but he was very fast. Kept the show moving at a brisk pace so that it would not straddle. It was his first hosting gig, and of course he would later on host Press Your Luck in this year. All episodes are thought to exist, but I think there's some kind of legal limbo that they're in. Maybe who has ownership of the episodes, perhaps because Jay Wolpert just passed away. The final episode was acknowledged by Peter Tomarken. Hitman
Just Men and Sale of the Century all debuted on the same day. Was it January 3rd of 1983? The pilot had different music, and the hitmen allotted in round 2 were 9 for the champ, 5 for the first place challenger, and 4 for the second place challenger. But it was otherwise played the same as far as I could tell. And there was a very funny contestant entry plug by Rod on the final episode.
If you would like to be a contestant on Hitman, forget it! And now, back to Peter Tomarken.
Thank you, Rod. Let me explain what Rod just said. This is our last show on Hitman, and we want to thank you for watching. Unfortunately, there just weren't enough of you. We've tried to do something a little bit different here. At the end of our show, if you laugh a little and pick up a little knowledge, so along the way, then we feel we did our job. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank those who made Hitman possible. The people behind the cameras who often go unmentioned. First and foremost, our creator and executive producer, Jay Wolpert. Jay, I just want to thank you, and I want you to know that I'm very proud to have been associated with Hitman. I'd also like to thank the producers, Randy Neuse and Roger Speakman, our associate producers, Stacy Babbitt and Joel Huck, and of course my partner in crime, our announcer, Rod Roddy, and of course, Kyle Cat, and last but far from least, our director in the booth, John Dorsey, the Fox. On behalf of all of us at Hitman, thank you for watching, and goodbye!
In closing, I thought it was an okay show. It ran against The Price is Right in some areas, which may have contributed to its demise. I was not a big fan of video presentation quizzes. I remember having to do them at school, so that's what this game show kind of reminded me of. Peter's humor and narrative prowess really helped to carry the show. He was fantastic on this show. So it's worth a look or two. I was also not really a big fan of the cutesy hitmen, and their name really kind of doesn't make sense. You're halfway expecting hired killers to be in this show. It's kind of a dumb name for it, but at any rate, it was worth another look. While I apologize for my voice not being 100%, I've been battling a nasty cold this weekend. But at any rate, that was my look at the game show Hitman from 1983, with Peter Tomarken as host. Very, very good in this show. Well, I thank you for watching. This is Crazyclimber80's, and thanks for watching my look at Hitman. I will catch you later in the future with another video. Who knows if I'll get back to my 20 from 1991 series, or maybe I'll have another surprise. See you then, everybody. Bye-bye.